Hey guys, happy Monday. Thanks for joining me. This is my podcast, Fiercely Growing You. As I shared on last week's episode, I'm working on a rebrand, really leaning into that word fierce, really leaning into all of us becoming the best versions of ourselves. So, if you've listened to the last two episodes, I really appreciate you. I'm going to try and make this, as relatable as possible. Something else that is going with my rebrand is those four words: real, relevant, relatable, raw, all very powerful words, all things that I'm really trying to lean into. Social media can be a fraud, right? It can be fake. People only posting their highlight reels and things that they're celebrating. And I'm trying to change that. I'm sharing the good, the bad, and the in between. And that's something I've always done, even in my personal life, before I started a business, before I started coaching. I talked a little bit about last week about how I feel like I've gotten some backlash for it, right? And just some like negative viewpoints. And when you put yourself out there, you open yourself up to that. I also did say that. But, if I'm helping just one person, if I'm helping to change the narrative, break cycles for at least one person, I can be happy with that, because I think about what I needed in my own journey. And just some of these things being normalized, I think could be really helpful. So, again, thank you for following along, tuning in, all this stuff. If you haven't already, please follow me on here so that you can see when I post. I am planning to drop a new episode every Monday. If you don't have Spotify, you should still be able to follow me. I'm not positive on that. I know for sure, obviously, if you have Spotify, you can follow me. So I'm in your library. But if you don't, you can just listen to it in like your web browser, Safari, whatever it is you're listening to. So, okay, today's podcast episode is going to be about body image. I talked a little bit about it on my Instagram stories this weekend. It's something I have talked about before. It's a heavy topic. It's powerful. It's hard, and it is not exclusive to just women. And that is also a narrative I am trying to break. It's not just women that want to improve themselves and work on themselves. It's not just women who struggle with the way that they look. It's not just women who feel like they have to fit in a societal standard, right? And body image very much goes into that societal standard. So, if you are male or female listening in, please know that this is going to pertain to you. And I'm really hoping, one, to validate your feelings because it's effing exhausting to hate yourself. I've been there so many times, struggling with body image very much right now, just because of the season of life I'm in. So, your feelings are real and they're valid, and you're allowed to have them. So, just remember that. But also remember that you're in control of your actions and your choices. And there are actions and choices that we can take to help alleviate some of the pain that comes from a poor body image. So, those are some things that I'm going to be talking about today. So, really, what inspired me to talk about this was I went shopping this weekend. And it's important to know that I hate shopping. I'm just not a shopping person. I don't like to spend money. I'm pretty frugal. I'll spend money on food like the best of them. We obviously know this from my binging behavior. Like, I can go drop $40 at the gas station on every snack and treat that I want. But I generally speaking don't spend money. I'm not a stuff person. If you walk in my house, you think that like nobody lives here because I'm a minimalist. I don't like stuff. And shopping just stresses me out. And I just don't enjoy it because if I could like live in gym clothes every day, I would, which as I say that out loud, that's actually a lie because I want to be cute. I want to wear cute, trendy outfits. I want to be the girl that just like flows in the clothes she's wearing and just looks happy and present and stylish and could be in a magazine. And I've never been her. I've always wanted to be her, but I've never been her. Um, I don't really know what my style is. Like I see women walking, at the store, in the mall. I don't know. Here in DC, I'm out exploring all the time. So even last night I went and had my little solo date with ice cream and, seeing different people walk around. I'm like, oh, she looks so cute. I could never wear that. And I feel like this kind of goes hand in hand with body image, which is why I'm talking about it. But I don't know what my style is. I don't know what I like to wear. And I think a lot of it is because I've never truly been super confident with myself. I will say I enjoy shopping a lot more when I'm confident, of course, because when you're shopping, you have to be standing in a mirror staring at yourself. You're looking at all of your flaws, right? And they're screaming at you, especially when you try something on. It's like, whoa, this is not meant to be worn by my body shape, right? So In any event, I went shopping this weekend because I have gained weight. I got on the scale this morning. I am 173.4. Gosh, in April and May, I was between 140 and 145. So, I mean, I've gained upwards to 30 to 35 pounds. Of course, my clothes don't fit right now. And basically, what I realized is I'm making myself feel worse by trying to fit into clothes that I can't fit in. And it's hot and it's humid. So, I'm wearing some of my sundresses and stuff because a lot of those are like loose and flowy and they'll fit no matter what. I'm not getting my shorts on. I can barely fit in my gym clothes. And I think that has affected me wanting to go to the gym because my clothes are so tight and it's uncomfortable. And I feel like it brings attention to my body shape. And that's like affected my motivation to go to the gym. So I'm like, you need to go get clothes. So just an exit up from where I live is a Marshall's, a Ross, and a Burlington. I don't know about you guys, but I like to go to stores like that because you can get literally anything and it's cheaper, right? So love stores like that. So I went there and I was looking around. I got myself new leggings, new sweatpants. I got a pair of jeans. I got a sundress. I just got some variety, right? And it instantly, well, I shouldn't say it instantly made me feel better because that's also a lie. It didn't make me feel better at first. I cried. I was upset because I was shopping in sizes I haven't had to shop in literally years. And when I say years, I mean 4 years ago. 4 years ago, last summer is the last time I was at this size. When I bulked a year and a half ago, where I purposely gained weight, I was not this size. And something else I've talked about on my Instagram stories is there is nothing wrong with the size that I am. It's just the size that I am not comfortable at. And I'm allowed to feel that way, just like you're allowed to feel a certain way about your body. I understand that I am still in shape, that I am not where I was when I started my journey. I'm just not comfortable at this current size. So I was upset shopping. And I definitely wasn't looking at the cutesy oh my goodness, cutesy crop tops and booty shorts that I was wearing last summer. And I think about shopping and I think about clothes and I think about my style. And I think that's my style, like a cross between like, I don't know, like, I don't know. You guys know I love black and I love dark colors and everything. Um, but I like wearing like shorts with like a gym crop top, right? And then maybe my hair in braids or like a headband in my hair or something like that. Like that's my style. And I sure as shit don't feel confident in that right now. So I wasn't shopping there. It was just heartening, right? It definitely made me emotional. And I had to remind myself that this feeling is temporary. And I tell all of you that as well. Wherever you are at in life, it is temporary. And I think as humans, it's hard for us to accept that. Sometimes temporary means in the blink of an eye, and sometimes temporary means, this is just a short chunk of your life. So I've been thinking about what I've been going through the last couple of months. We have 12 months in a year, right? So really, May, June, July have been the hardest months for me. And right now in the moment, it is hard. My world is crumbling. My whole world is falling apart right now. And that's really, really hard for me. But I think about it, I'm trying to give myself the perspective of this is temporary. This too shall pass. It will get better. It has to. Certainly can't get worse by any means, but it has to get better. It will get better. And when we think about a lot of other chapters in our lives where things felt heavy and hard, we got through it, right? We didn't know it at the time, but we got through it. And 3 months out of 12 months is I didn't do the math. Let's do the math real quick. I'm pulling up my calculator. 3 divided by 12, that's 25% of the year. I have 75% of the year that can still go really well. And really, January, February, and March were really, really good months for me. I transitioned back into the classroom. I got my physique right where I wanted it to be. I was training hard. I did my half marathon. I freaking killed it. I mean, really, even April. So January, February, March, and April, that's 4 months. That means out of 7 months in the year, I've had more months that were good than were bad. So do you see how just kind of taking a step back, I've been able to reframe my thoughts on what I'm going through? That doesn't say that things don't suck right now. And I am not a toxic positivity person. Things just suck sometimes. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything happens for a reason, even though I do believe that. Sometimes we don't know the reason and sometimes it still fucking sucks. Okay. The other thing is, these feelings can coexist, right? I could have negative feelings with positive feelings. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And I think so many of us get stuck in that perfectionist mindset. So another thing to remind ourselves of. I'm in a weird chapter in life right now, but it's not forever. And this weird chapter of life has brought some of the worst body image days than I've experienced in my 32 years of living. And I plan to do a full podcast episode eventually on my entire journey. I brought up some of it in like my introduction, but there have been some dark freaking days when it comes to my mental health and the way I see myself, right? So I'm not a stranger to these feelings. And of course, when we look at failure, we're all going to fail a billion times in our life, right? Right now, I'm failing pretty hard. But weirdly enough, I'm failing better than I've ever failed because I have more tools to handle the failure better, right? So, yeah, I relapsed with my binging. Yeah, I've gained weight. Yeah, I've kind of lost myself. But the self awareness is there. The tools to pull myself out of it is there. I'm able to use my failures to help other people. There are still positives out of it. And that kind of goes with those feelings coexisting. So, when it comes to how we see ourselves, I hate to break it to you guys, but it's not actually about your body. Body image is typically about something else. You are projecting feelings onto yourself. When you say, damn, I feel fat, say it again, feel. You feel fat. It is a feeling. And fat is not actually a feeling. Chances are you're feeling grief or anger or frustration or sadness or irritation. There's a billion different emotions that I can go through, but I'm telling you, your body image is not actually about the way you look. I shared something on my Instagram story today, and it was about how like self-growth and self-improvement is really powerful, but you are allowed to accept yourself where you are right here and right now. And that very much aligns with what I wanted to share about body image. So I had these notes typed out on Saturday, like, oh yeah, I'm going to do the podcast about this. And I had two clients reach out to me on Saturday struggling with their body image. And I was like, wow, this was like meant to be, right? But something that I talked to both of them about, and I'm going to talk to you guys about, is that acceptance. It's a powerful word, right? Acceptance doesn't mean self-love. Acceptance doesn't mean obsessing over yourself, right? I feel like the body positivity movement kind of made us all feel like we had to be obsessed with ourselves. And I'm sorry, but that's not reality. There's too many emotions, too many environmental factors that can affect how we perceive ourselves. So it is unrealistic to say that I'm going to be in love with myself every day. It is, however, realistic to say, you know what? I'm going to accept myself right here and right now. I'm going to respect myself right here and right now. Because, yeah, I'm not happy with my body shape and my body size right now. Yeah, I am working to improve myself, but my body's still pretty freaking amazing. And she does a lot of wonderful things for me. And I get to see how capable I am. And my body does that for me despite her size. That's what acceptance is about. It's about appreciating what your body does for you, appreciating the fact that these journeys have highs and lows, and just accepting that it is okay and it's not a bad thing to work towards improvement. But I'm here to tell you, once you reach that smaller size, you reach that goal weight on the scale, that goal pant size in the TJ Maxx jeans section, you're not going to miraculously love yourself. You got to do it from within. And I learned that the hard way on my journey. So, I started this at 215-ish pounds and I did not have a goal weight. I just wanted to get as small as possible. Well, I did. I reached 130 freaking pounds. I'm here to tell you I'm not meant to be 130 pounds. That is small for me. I was skinny. I was starving. I was cold all the time. I was a raging bitch. Lot of mood issues, lost my period, couldn't go to the bathroom, lots and lots of health factors that went into it. And guess what? The day that I woke up and I saw 130 on the scale, I was not any happier, any more respectful towards my body than when I was 215 pounds. Because I wanted more. I wanted to just keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And that all came from feelings deep down within. And here I am almost 5 years later from the day that I was my biggest, and I'm still dealing with those feelings. I'm still working through the emotions that make me perceive myself the way that I do, that make me act the way that I do. And that's why this journey is so much more than just your physique. It's also the mindset, it's the mindfulness practices. Because if you don't dig deep and figure out why you have the habits why you have the habits that you do, why you think the way that you do, I'm telling you that your body image is not going to change no matter what your size is, because it's not about your body. It's about the emotions and it's about the feelings. So this is absolutely me encouraging you to dive deep into that, whatever that looks like. Maybe that means getting some counseling. Maybe that means doing some meditation and yoga. Maybe that means doing some journaling. There's tons and tons of options out there, but you got to deal with the shit that goes on in your head. And it doesn't have to be something super life-changing, traumatic. It could be small things adding up. I know the biggest triggers for my body image, even when I'm at like my leanest and my tightest, it's when I'm tired and it's when I am stressed out and I feel like I don't have control of something. So I'm very mindful of those triggers. And it's important that you know and are aware of your triggers so that you can act accordingly, right? So if you wake up and it's like, shit, I only slept like 4 hours last night, wear a comfortable outfit. Don't be taking too many pictures. Don't be body checking yourself in the mirror. Put on an outfit you feel good in and you move on, right? Because it's not actually about your body. Your body did not drastically change from yesterday to today. It's about the feeling. So, just some things to kind of work on if you're somebody who's struggling with the way that you see yourself. And that goes to show that perception can be weird. That's exactly what perception is. It's how we see things. How I see myself is different than how you see me and how, the person across the street sees me. Like perception is weird. So it's important to remember perception is not always reality. I think that goes to show, especially when we see a picture of ourselves and it's like, holy crap, I look awful. Remember that angles and clothing and lighting all affect the way that we see ourselves, right? So maybe it's, oh man, this dress is a little tight. I probably shouldn't have worn it today. Or maybe it's, yeah, the cameraman had that camera super freaking up close to my face and you can see my double chin and my wrinkles. It happens. We're not going to look perfect 100% of the time. We're going to have bad angles. We're going to have bad lighting. Sometimes it just doesn't capture what we actually look like. So then you have to ask yourself, okay? Because I did have a client, she sent me a picture. She was in a wedding and she sent me a picture and she's like, oh my God, this is going to ruin my day. Like, I can't stand the way I look. And I was like, okay, well, when you look in the mirror, is that what you see? And she's like, no. And I was like, okay, so which one are you going to believe? Are you going to believe what you see in the mirror every day? Or are you going to believe what you see in that picture? And again, it's not to say that you're not allowed to be unhappy with the picture because, yeah, you see that picture and you don't see yourself. And it does make you question, oh my God, do I look like that? Your feelings are valid, as I said at the beginning, but it's important to bring some rationale to that perception. Okay. Body image is deep. There's a lot that goes into it. I definitely encourage you, like I said, to dive into what your triggers are. Obviously, if you're going through a really hard chapter of life like me, you're probably going to have a lot more poor body image days compared to not. If you're somebody who, is going through life changes, or maybe you did just start a journey where you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to help your relationship with food, you are going to project those feelings onto yourself and they run deep. If you are not willing to figure out why or what emotion links to your body image, you're never truly going to accept yourself. And that's probably not the tough love that you wanted to hear, but it's the tough love that I'm going to give you. Your body image isn't about your body. Okay. It's hard, guys. I know what it's like to stand in front of a mirror and just cry and hate yourself. I know what it's like to be so exhausted from picking yourself apart all day. Um, Even now, I'm in the phase where I want to wear loose, baggy clothing. I'm pulling at my shirt. I'm, you know, putting my head down, not making eye contact with people. And, I experienced this when I was heavier too. It's hard. And it's if you've never experienced it, I envy you because it does take so much of your mental capacity, right? To just not be happy with yourself. So I really, really want to challenge you to that acceptance. Okay, I don't love myself right here, right now, but I do accept myself and I do respect myself because I deserve that. And I don't care who you are. Every single person in this world deserves that because life is hard enough and we all make mistakes and we all face challenges, and that takes enough out of us. This is the one body we get, right? It's the one life that we get. Is that what you want to do? Spend it picking yourself apart, going on vacation with the kids, and you're not getting in the pictures with your kids. And then here it is, they're 18 at their graduation party, and you can't put any pictures of yourself on a little slideshow or on the board because you were more worried about that roll in your stomach or your double chin? Like, is that what you want for yourself in 10 years? And I want you to ask yourself for the Christmas family picture. In 10 years, are you going to care what size dress you were wearing? Are you going to care that you had a picture with grandma and grandpa for their last Christmas before they passed on? I really, really want you to ask yourself what matters. And again, I'm here with a physique goal. I'm not here to tell you that you're not allowed to work on your body. You are not vain and you are not shallow for wanting your body to look differently. I argue with people about that all the time. One, people sexualize bodybuilding, and I'm like, you're disgusting because there's nothing about this that is about sex. It's about what you build, it's about the fact that you're overcoming great challenges like relationships with food and discipline and lifestyle challenges and changes to create this body that you've worked really, really hard for. Nobody gets to take that away from you. And you sure as shit are allowed to want to change your body, but you can't hate yourself there. You have to accept yourself into it. You're going to enjoy the journey a lot better. And the time is going to pass no matter what. Time passes no matter what the number on the scale says. Time passes no matter how we perceive our body. And guess what, guys? Time is not something that you are going to get back. So, I feel like I have a lot more that I could probably dive into about this, but this pretty much covered all of the notes that I had. If you have any questions about body image, specifically to yourself, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram, or you can leave comments on this podcast, actually. So feel free to drop them there. Something maybe I could talk about in a future episode or on my social media or something like that. But um, just leaving with you with being kind to yourself because you deserve that. You would never look at a friend and be like, "Oh my God, you look so fat in that dress." And if you are, you're a shitty friend, even if you're kidding, because words freaking hurt and people remember them. So don't talk to yourself that way either. It's really, really powerful when you can reframe that and make that shift. So, challenging you guys to that this week is to just be nicer to yourself. And that's not to say it's going to happen overnight. You're going to have many instances where you do start to pick yourself apart. But that's where that coexisting comes in. Yeah, I'm not happy with myself, but I can reframe the way that I talk about myself because I deserve that. So do it, try it. Let me know how it goes. Um, I'm working on it myself, just being kinder to myself and realizing that I'm in a really, really hard part of life right now. And it happens. And that sometimes that comes with letting go of what we usually do. Sometimes that comes with weight gain. Sometimes that comes with being unhappy with ourselves. But again, we have the choices to make to try and improve that. Okay, guys, I hope everybody's having a good Monday, had a good weekend. If there's any topics that you want to hear from me, please, please let me know. Drink your water, get some sleep, be kind to yourselves, and we will talk next week. Have a good one.